Assalamualaikum and a very good day to all. Today we are presenting our poster entitled Evaluating a Pilot CFR Online Course Using CIRO Model. Let me introduce the team members for this poster. First is Ms. Hasrina Abdurrahman. Next is Ms. Harati Sarah Peters, AC Peters. And last but not least is Ms. Yasmin Yongpuikuan binti Abdullah. Before we start our poster presentation, allow me to show you our poster here. We will start this poster presentation with the background of this study. The Ministry of Education MOE Malaysia collaborated with Cambridge English CE to align the national curriculum and assessment to the Common European Framework of References for Languages, CEFR. The CEFR face-to-face courses for teachers were conducted between 4 to 5 days from 2016 until 2020. Beginning 2020, ELTC has been appointed to conduct the same CFR courses fully online for 6 weeks using Google Classroom. Since this was the first time the courses were conducted fully online, it is vital to evaluate these courses to ensure that those who attended the online courses would have the same benefits as the ones who attended face-to-face. For that matter, this study aims to evaluate a pilot CFR online course, which is the CFR familiarization course by using the CIRO model.
Let me explain about the methodology used for this study. For this study, a survey was conducted using a questionnaire with closed-ended and open-ended questions. The questions were on three main themes: course content, facilitation and moderation, and course materials. 263 course participants took part as respondents using Google Form upon course completion through convenience sampling technique. Mixed method design is used in this study using concurrent triangulation design. Allow me to introduce the CIRO model by Waugh, Bird, and Rackham in 1970. It has 4 levels of evaluation that consist of context, input, reaction, and outcome evaluation. Context evaluation revolves around the objectives of the course. The two objectives of CFR's familiarization course were to introduce participants to the CFR skills across the 4 language skills and to introduce teaching and learning practices based on the CFR. As for input evaluation, the focus is on course resources. The 3 course resources that were evaluated were course content, facilitation and moderation, and the course materials. The next evaluation level is reaction, which involves getting participants' reactions towards the course for improvement, which later would be presented in figures 3, 4, and 5. The final level is outcome evaluation, where the outcomes of the course are measured to the course objectives. In this study, the focal point was on the immediate outcomes based on changes in knowledge, skills, and attitude of participants. The findings of this study were presented based on figures 3, 4, and 5. As you can see here in figure 3 on course content, 45.6% of course participants strongly agreed, 50.2% agreed, 3.8% disagreed, and only 0.4% strongly disagreed that the course content was relevant to own work. For the relevance of the course content to own professional development, 49.4% rated strongly agree, 45.6% rated agree, 4.2% rated disagree, while 0.8% rated strongly disagree. Next is figure 4 on facilitation and moderation. 3 aspects were looked into, which were moderator's approach, explanation of concepts or communication of ideas, and ability to provide feedback. 40.7% stated that the moderators were very helpful, 57.8% were helpful, 1.1% were partially helpful, and 0.4% not helpful. Similar positive responses were evident in terms of explanation of concepts or communication of ideas, where 36% rated as very helpful, 60.5% rated as helpful, 3.1% rated as partially helpful, and 0.4% rated as not helpful. For the ability to provide feedback, 42.2% gave the ratings as very helpful, 55.9% as helpful, 1.5% as partially helpful, and 0.4% as not helpful. Figure 5 concentrates on course materials. 31.2% strongly agreed that the materials were easy to follow, while 65% agreed, 3.4% disagreed, and 0.4% strongly disagreed. On the next aspect, 32.3% of the course participants strongly agreed, 63.5% agreed, 3.8% disagreed, and 0.4% strongly disagreed that the course materials were well organized.
Apart from the identified course resources, there were two other pertinent aspects that were discussed in this course. The first aspect was on online courses. There were mixed responses as some participants liked online courses because they could attend these at a time and place convenient for them. On the other hand, some participants indicated that online courses were quite difficult to follow. Some participants also suggested to review the time of the course conducted as it was conducted near to the examination time when they had to prepare students for exam, set papers, and mark exam papers. Based on the responses, two preeminent recommendations were identified. The first recommendation was on having more real-time engagement between moderators and participants as online real-time consultation can help teachers who are confused with the terminology. The other recommendation was on having better online materials as the participants would love to have more video presentations, interactive quizzes, and Google Meet. As a conclusion, the findings were able to give information on areas to be improved in ensuring the implementation of other future online courses a success. Thank you for listening to our poster presentation.